Now we're going to be building a simple lever for the trigger mechanism. So we're going to start with a 7/16 inch dowel, a hardwood dowel. You cut this whole thing to be 6 inches long, and then you want to mark 1 inch. Now with a sharp knife, we're going to be carving this. You can also use a file or a grinder. I'm just going to be using a knife because this is quicker for me. The first thing you need to do is figure out which way the grain is going. I don't know if you can see, but the grain is going up and down. That's what you want. That's the strongest orientation of grain, so that when this is holding the arrow and string and you put pressure on it, it won't simply snap. It'll be able to hold up to that pressure and release the string. So what you're going to do is, starting at this 1 inch mark that you made, you just want to do a couple of light push cuts. And what we're trying to do is establish a sort of angle. Alright, so here it is. I brought this down to about 1/8 of an inch. Now what you want to do is, from the side, you just want to kind of whittle this down really lightly. All we're doing is we're making sure that this point will fit between, like this. Because the way this is going to work is, when you pull down on the trigger, it's going to push the arrow and the string over and fire the crossbow. So that looks good. So now what we're going to be doing is doing the same thing in the opposite direction. This isn't going to be as extreme of an angle. This is just to give us a little more, so that instead of when you push the trigger down, instead of it lying flat, it's going to be at a bit of an angle. That's going to help ensure a clean release. So we start from the back, and I'm just going to cut it down and I'll show you what that looks like. So here it is right now. That way when it sits down flat, it's just a little bit of an angle upward. So now what I'm going to be doing is just carving this back a little bit, just so the place where your thumb is going to rest is not rounded but flat, so that you get a little more even distribution of pressure. Your thumb doesn't get sore from pushing on this trigger. And here it is, so that the thumb has a nice place to rest on. So just go ahead with your knife and carefully round this off. There it is. So here you can see this is how the trigger is going to sit. And when you need to to fire, put your thumb on here and push down, and it will fire the crossbow. Now what we're going to do is establish the height for these pins. So we're going to make 2 markings.